and he wants me to depend on him. For me, I'm just not used to that, letting him in and letting him do things for me, because I know he wants to feel like, the man in control. But that's not what I wanted in our marriage.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. That is what we're singing for Virginia and Eric in part 3 of our analysis of their particular relationship. They were very heavily involved in this episode 12, and we want to break down some of the things that were said in this particular part of the scene. They were discussing, obviously, him wanting to be more open for her and to invite her to be able to share her thoughts and feelings with him. And we're going to break some stuff down as well, and just really discuss it and bring it to the forefront. So guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. You click on this bell button for notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you got the minerals, you got the minerals, yes, you got the minerals. Stay hydrated. All right, cool. Listen, let me give me stay hydrated. Listen, I can't be saying it and not be drinking. Grab your water. Let's stay hydrated. All right, cool. So I'm going to play the clip again and see what you guys say.
That's not the life I want to live.
Dude, you got to go.
Hey.
You need to get out of here.
Now, here's the thing. Obviously, Rocky's in the situation again. Rocky Balboa, the poor dog's involved in the situation again. But, what's really interesting about this particular scenario here is that she struggles to have anybody to lean on. Again, this dates us back to the abandonment issues that she suffers. She's unable also to rely on anybody because they could abandon her at any moment in time. So in order to protect herself and to keep herself safe, she makes sure that nobody can get that close, that she has to lean on me. You understand? So for her, being the structure that is stable and is able to contain her weight and lean upon him is something that is alien to her in the last few years. She's not been able to trust anybody because she don't trust herself. Woo! Let's start strong. She's unable to trust anybody else because she doesn't trust herself, and oftentimes that trust of self, not necessarily that you are thinking that you're a bad person, but you don't trust yourself in the fact that you can choose somebody that won't abandon you, because anybody who's been around you, who's loved you, or so they said, has abandoned you. And what you don't want is somebody else to be there for you to then apply your weight on, to lean on that person, and then to find yourself that they've gone. Because what happens? You fall. And so many people don't want to. I do it partly. Part of me does that anyway, where I don't trust many people, so I don't lean on too many people. You understand? Because I don't want that pillar to fall away. And at the same time, I don't trust myself to be able to be fully there for you as well. So for Virginia, I think there's a real big issue for when it comes to wanting to be able to give him that space to be able to have the role of a pillar in her life, right? If your own father couldn't do it, what makes you think as a husband you can do it? That's probably what's running in the background of her mind that makes it very hard to adjust. Now, you saw her throw the thing away for Rocky as well.
I know you love him to death, and I do too. But you do know that he's a couple little things.
Now he's about to go into explaining mode once again and explain about Rocky Balboa, the dog. Okay, his name is Rocky, not Rocky Balboa. Explain about the dog because he feels like the dog needs some training. And look, it may do. It may do. There's a way to go about it, though. There's a way to be able to deliver this information that doesn't make it look militant. There's a way to deliver this information that makes the person feel loved and cared for, that it's a you and I thing, not a my thing. And at the moment, Eric is promoting a my thing the way that he's talking about Rocky, as if he almost sounds like he's better off than her, right? And so again, that's going to cause her issues, and actually it's going to cause a blow up that happens later on, right? It's going to cause a massive blow up that happens later on. All right. And so let's go to the clip where I want to show you guys. Well, yes, cool. We're on 48, so let's see. Here we go. Let's go here.
But you tell me things like you don't trust me with him.
So now she's about to tell him that she doesn't trust him with the dog. You see, and the reason why is because she's built up such a connection with this dog that she fears what he will do will change their connection. Remember, she has abandonment issues. So the moment the dog changes, it's actually a rejection of herself. The moment the dog changes, it's a rejection of herself. She can't allow him to train the dog. Because she needs to be able to trust Eric that when he trains a dog, that dog won't change from her. And so the problem here is that I can't allow you to go into that space. I can't give you Rocky. I can't allow Rocky to come to you because I am fearful myself. Right? Play it a little bit longer, we'll see.
And like, you don't make me feel like I'm like a father figure.
Now, this father figure thing was obviously spoken in regards to Rocky, not to her. So, just to clear that up. So, you know, because obviously she already said that she feels like a parent already to Rocky, her dog, right? And so he's saying, obviously, he wants to play a father role in the life, and she's not allowing it. This is why I said it's like a stepmom, stepdad situation. This is what happens in stepmoms and stepdad situations when one parent brings their child. Let's say that the other person hasn't got children and one person brings a child, and then the parent's like, do I get a say in how we discipline the child? Do I get a say in how we talk to the child? Do I get a say in, you know, parenting? And the stepmom might say, no, you don't get a say in it. Which can be very, very hard if you're a hands-on person and you want your house to run in a certain way. But actually you're saying you want to join in with somebody, then you have to give that person room to do that. And you should trust their judgment on how they discipline. If you don't, then why are you in a relationship with them? You know what I mean? Why are you in a relationship with them if you don't trust their judgment in how they're going to discipline your child? I think also as well, let's play the clip a little bit longer. It'll get to it.
We think of our dogs as like babies. How are we gonna, you know, move forward and have kids then? Yeah, that's.
And so notice how obviously he switched the conversation to, well, if we can't look after the dogs, how are we going to look after kids then, right? Because that's where his final goal is going to stand from, right? But at least in that particular instance, they've created it together. I don't think she's going to be like that. Just similarly, this is a similar situation to how they dealt with the house situation. She was like, listen, if we buy a house, then it's our house. But at the moment, it's your house. So she has a very clear, distinctive marker when it comes to separating things in a relationship. She will go, that's yours, that's mine. And the reason why, again, it goes back to that original point. When someone has abandonment issues, they make clear demarcations for what's yours, what's mine. Because when it hits the fan, you know where I'm going. You know where you're going. We all know where we're going. And there's no higgy-haga madness talk after. You know where you're going. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. You know what you're doing. Because we've already established that we are unified but separate. And there's actually nothing wrong with a bit of independence. It's just the mindset, though, that she has towards a relationship may be problematic. Maybe. Right? It may be just a little bit too independent. I've always said this. Be independent when you're solo, but be interdependent when you get in a relationship. Okay? Look for help. Ask for help. Also give their help. You feel what I'm saying? Let's play a little bit more of the clip.
My point is just like, we're just letting me kind of work with him a little bit. I don't see how that's a problem. Like, but you throw this wall up and you turn into someone that this is mine, and you just.
So again, he's going on to a point about her throwing up the wall. And the wall, like I said, I've already explained it, is that it's coming from how she feels about the change of Rocky. She thinks Rocky's fine. She thinks Rocky is blessed. She thinks Rocky is cool. Like, Rocky, there's nothing wrong with Rocky. No, Rocky's cool. Rocky is blessed, bruv. You got the problem. I like Rocky the way he is. You know, I like you just the way you are. She likes him the way he is. And so, unfortunately, you know, she's not going to agree. She's not going to be compliant just yet because she has to trust you. But let me play a little bit of a clip and go forward a little bit. Because we're getting some good parts here. Because they're going to discuss this dog and what he's doing. Sorry. Here. And we'll discuss that. Sorry, I don't want copyright. And so the dog was burying its. The dog was messing around, right? Nothing heavy. The dog was messing around. But the way he's going to interpret the information of how the dog is messing around, it's going to be interesting. Watch this.
Are you going to pay attention to this important conversation or not?
So I think, again, see, the daddy issues there coming through. I kind of skipped a little bit there. We'll have to go back and play it. He actually got annoyed at the fact that the dog was playing around and not being, trained. And then she looked at the dog, laughed, got excited, and then he was like, listen, again, you're missing the point. You're not being involved in the conversation. You're not being you're not really actually listening to the conversation. And that's where he has an issue in, right? That's where he has an issue in.
Yeah.
So it's going to be about you only, with something we can't do together to build like trust and something that makes us closer.
And so very much, and unfortunately, the difference between Virginia and Eric, and also Ryan and Clara, is that they have built up a little bit of a teamwork ethic in the way they're going to deal with their dog. In this particular case, she's not going to give no room. She's not giving no slight. She doesn't want to move over. She doesn't want to say, hey, you can have room to maneuver. And I guess because part of him, the way he speaks, it's not like it's a us thing. It's a his thing. And that is what's stopping them. And that's what's going to cause this blow up, because there's going to be a massive blow up that's going to come up in a second. You're going to see it in a second. I'm going to fast forward it a little bit.
Doesn't listen to me sometimes. I'll ask him not to bring this up at this time, or not to say things in certain ways, and he still continually does.
Now, that's a very big point. In communication, if I've told you this particular style of communication frustrates me when you do it, hear me, listen to me, and heed me. You know what I mean? Like, because you cause more issues, you cause more damage in the long run. Right? In relationships, sometimes it's not what is said, it's how it's said and what time it's said. If you choose your timings wisely in the right time and season, you avoid a lot of arguments. But a lot of times people don't do it at the right time or the right season, and then they're having this mad blowout because it's like that. It's a wrong timing. And I told you this. And I told you it's the wrong timing, and why did you do it? And now I feel like you're doing it intentionally, and really it probably isn't the case. But because you feel like you've told them this is not the right time, it's frustrating you, right? Let's play a little bit more.
Just the way he talks to Rocky sometimes does put me over the edge a little bit, because I know he would never treat Tex that way. So
now here's why he's made a distinction between Rex and Rocky. It's not to do with the fact Rocky's your child. It's the fact that Rocky, for him, he sees imperfection in Rocky. He sees Rocky as a problem child. He sees Rocky as somebody who needs militant training to get them back into shape. He sees Rocky as somebody who needs order. He sees Rocky as somebody who needs stability. He sees Rocky who needs somebody who's going to tell him, listen, this is how you should behave. Because what he sees from Virginia as an owner is that she's too free. She gets the dog too hyped. We've had this conversation beforehand. It was 2 episodes ago where they were in the kitchen and he was talking about, he came into the kitchen and said, oh, when he was with me, he's been a good dog. In his mind, he's a trainer. He trains dogs. He trains people. And so he's willing to train the dog because, again, he lacks order because he's been in the military. And so Virginia represents this kind of natural chaos, but the dog is one step too far.
It's always going to kind of be a struggle until we get in a better place with it.
It does hurt that you don't get involved me at all, because that's just, again.
And so the strife and the struggle that they're facing, it's amazing that we're arguing with a dog, right? It's amazing we're arguing with a dog because it's a dog. And they both have dogs. It's not even like that he doesn't have a dog. They both have dogs. Why is this a source of argument? Because it's a source of control. Remember I told you about abandonment issues? It's a source of what? Control. When something is a source of control and we begin to tamper with it, people get very, 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 very aggy. When money is a source of control and you touch money, people get very, very what? Aggy. Because it's a source of what? Control. And control gives that person safety. Control makes that person feel safe. Control says I can do whatever I can do what I need to do, and within a measure I can freely do what I need to do without a fear of something. But it's the fear that leads the person to want to control. Right? Let's play. I think we're almost there now. So let's play a little bit more. It's about to blow up.
I told you I didn't want to do this anymore, and you're still doing it.
Big blow up, big blow up, blow up. So she blows up, obviously, and she's blown up about the fact that obviously I told you I didn't want to do this anymore. This is not what I wanted to do. I told you this is not where I wanted to go, and so I totally understand her plight here, you know, and it's going to lead to a even more bigger blow up, where she's going to tell some truths in her own heart, because when you're angry, people tell some really deep, painful truths. Let's just look at this as well.
It's not like Eric's a professional trainer. Like, he doesn't know how to train a dog. He trained his one dog. It always goes back to Rocky. Why?
Now, there is an overprotectiveness when it comes to Rocky. If you heard what she said, it comes always, you know, he's only trained one dog. That's, sis, don't make a difference. Like, listen, if you train 1 or 100, listen, if he said he can do it, let him do it. But her frustration is that he's now tampering with her control. This is the dog that gave her unconditional love at a particular time and season in her particular life, where she was at her most down. Rocky saved her. So for her, Rocky can do no wrong. For her, Rocky can do no wrong. And so the mere fact of him wanting even to change Rocky is an insult. It is frustrating. And it speaks more about her. It means you're trying to change me. That's why the frustration came out. You're not just trying to change Rocky. You're trying to change me. Rocky represents me. I represent Rocky. If you're changing him, you're changing me. And so now the violent and energy, say violent, but yes, in the sense of the aggressive outburst, okay, now is prevalent, right? Look at the eyes.
Like, damn.
You need a second. You need a minute.
Like, I just want you to...
It's getting too much. Getting a little bit too much. And so, yeah, that big bust up happens. And you know what? It's so interesting because we're gonna see later on. Eric's gonna say that he's actually done with this particular situation, and these two, when they blow up, they've always, when they blow up, it's from a place of hurt and pain, right? And they blow up because they're fearful of an outcome that doesn't sit in their control. So you're gonna see him kind of cussing and saying, "Look, you know, here you go, look." He starts cussing off at production, you know. Eric's lost it, mate. He's gone on a mud one, and he's gone on a mud one because he feels like I don't know what's. In fact, I'm not even trying to analyze this one. I don't know what's going through his head. Why is everyone getting done for? And I don't know if he's trying to blame production. Maybe he's blaming production because she already said earlier on, I didn't want to do this anymore. And when she was shouting, she was actually shouting not in his direction in terms of Eric, but actually at production. So I think this is a little shout at him. So let's see what he's saying. Oh, sorry. I wanted to catch it. I must have missed it. Yeah, I must have missed it. Okay, we'll come back to it in a second. But he was shouting not necessarily at. She wasn't shouting necessarily at him. She was talking about he only trained one freaking dog. It was aimed at him, but it seemed like her direction that she was shouting at wasn't actually at him. It was to whoever was in the background. And so, similarly enough, when he starts cussing too, he's saying obviously he's effing done. It sounds like he might be. I thought he was done first at the relationship, but I may be wrong. I would have to watch it again to make sure.
I don't think it's gonna work.
Get away from me. What? I'm done with it, dude. Nothing. Nothing more. The minute don't speak.
And again, I'm still not sure, because the first comment is that when she says what, Virginia says what, and I'm not sure if he's telling Virginia to get away from him or whether he's talking about production. It's a bit unclear at the moment, but it does look like Virginia Airways is not taking off, guys. It does look like we are grounded for tonight. I don't know, but yes, it's clearly he was frustrated to a point where he could say, well, then again, he's always said he's done with it, and he's always threatening that he's done, and we'll see if he actually really means it. So yeah, that was okay. He's aiming at. Yeah, so he's not taking accountability for his madness. He wants to blame production. I'm not saying production didn't force a conversation. I'm saying that maybe he doesn't want to take accountability for the fact that he contributes towards Virginia's frustration. Bro, she wasn't vexed. Virginia wasn't vexed at production the whole entire day. She was vexed at you. Take accountability, bro. Just take accountability. But guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you. Stay hydrated.